A remarkable beginning to what is bound to be a remarkable new year starts with an eclipse, a solar eclipse and new moon this Saturday, January 5th, in the sign of Capricorn, and it's a mob scene. There are so many planets in Capricorn for this new moon that the zodiac itself is tilted towards that Capricorn sense of humor, very dry wit, and Capricorn's insistence on climbing the mountain of success, however, in a very sure-footed way. So, you know, all those mountain goats you can imagine sitting on the summit during this eclipse, they are there not because of the aesthetics of the mountaintop view, although that's very nice too, but they're there because they have the advantage of seeing what's coming, especially seeing if a predator or an enemy is coming. And that's why the sure-footed mountain goat is a sign of security. So that's a lovely thing that we can begin with. Also, in addition to being really intent this year on having that transcendent view and being both far-sighted, far-seeing, and sure-footed, we're also in for lots of sudden, unexpected, totally out of the blue changes. That will be the modus operandi governing our economy and shaking up, bringing big shifts in what we value. And that's because Uranus, the god of lightning, you know, he's the 7-year itch guy. And right now we are in the in-between of 7 years in Aries and beginning 7 years in Taurus. So during this transition is when we feel the biggest itch. So we got 7 years we're leaving behind in pioneering fire, where we're really ready for rebelliousness and for fighting for our freedom. And now we're moving into the Rock of Gibraltar, Taurus. So we're moving from fire to earth. And you may get struck by lightning during all of this, but now we have a built-in grounding rod. That is really good news, isn't it? So this is your astrology weather forecast for the week of December 31st to January 6, 2019. I'm Judith Royal, and I'm an archetypal astrologer, and I'm wishing you a very happy and prosperous new year. It is, of course, going to be what you decide it's going to be. We start this week on Monday, the 31st of December, New Year's Eve, with a major aspect. We have Mars, the warrior planet, moving from Pisces, where he's been sort of sloshing around and not quite able to get his forward movement. And as of New Year's Eve, he's going to be in his home sign of Aries. So this is only one of several indicators for this week that things are really going to start popping and moving forward. So Monday, we also start with the moon in Scorpio, and the moon will still be in Scorpio for New Year's Day. And that day, we have something of a stabilizing influence because the Capricorn sun is going to join that sheriff Saturn, who's been in Capricorn all year, and will also join Pluto in a nice way, who's also in Capricorn. So this is a very stabilizing sign to begin January 1st. For New Year's Day, we also have a very lovely harmonious trine, and the key trigger for that is Venus, the goddess of love, who is in the sign of Scorpio, and the moon is in Scorpio, and they're going to meet up. And that is just the very nature of feeling your love very strongly for, well, everyone near you, everyone close to you. So it's a wonderful beginning to the new year, because it's also in aspect, in that harmonious trine with Neptune, our visionary planet, and the call is there for a higher love. That is always moving towards that unconditional acceptance of one another, because after all, we are the way we are, and we were born that way. You can look at any astrology chart and see that one. So also this week, come Tuesday, we will have the moon moving into Sagittarius, so things are now starting to fire up. And a remarkable thing about January as a whole is that by the time, let's say by this Sunday, January 6th, every planet will be in direct motion. So you remember that a lot of 2018, we had many, many retrograde planets, and sometimes we had as many as 5 in a row in retrograde. So we were doing a lot of inner work, a lot of reviewing, and a lot of, sort of going in our intuitive cave, getting information like the bats using their sonar. However, now we are going to have all planets direct, and the key shift towards that is Uranus, the god of lightning, and he goes into direct motion this Sunday, the 6th. And I want to give you some dates for this, because it's a very important, remember, he's the 7-year itch guy. So you can look at your life and see what has been on hold, what has really wanted to change for quite a while, and will now find that forward momentum. So Uranus is direct as of the 6th, and he went into, briefly, the sign of Taurus. He left Uranus, he left Aries, and went into the sign of Taurus just for a little while from May 15th until the midterm elections day, November 6th. You may remember I talked about that. And while he was in Taurus, he went retrograde. That was in July, around July the 7th. And now he's going direct, still in Aries, but now he's going to return for good to Taurus on March the 6th. So this springtime, that's a little before springtime, but believe me, the momentum for new growth, the momentum for new life is green beyond belief. So that is really wonderful for all of us. And earth and water signs in particular, and you air signs, hang on. There isn't going to be any air until January 21st, when the sun goes into Aquarius air. But there's going to be plenty of fire, so you still have a lot of creativity. You just might not want to be too impulsive. Always try to make yourself stop and think, even though it feels like you don't want to. And mark your calendars for April the 6th, because that's when Uranus will return to the spot that he left when he went retrograde. In summary, that means from July the 7th, 2018 until April the 6th, 2019, we have had that inner journey about rebellion, about becoming free. So we have gone inside, and isn't it true? Haven't you found that you've really broken down some of the walls that you had built that imprisoned your mind? Especially those walls we build against the awareness of love's presence. I know we all think, oh, we want love, but we do go towards it still fearing it, because we have that very wrong idea that love itself is such a beautiful force, but it would find us wanting and not worthy. So let's just dump that right now before 2019 starts. The moon will still be in Sagittarius on Thursday, January 3rd. And that day, you're going to have some really, your thinking, your communications just going to be full of fireworks in a very good way. And then on Friday, the moon moves into Capricorn. And on that same day, Mercury, the messenger planet, also moves into Capricorn. So now we are going to have the moon and Mercury traveling together. So your intuition is beyond acute, very sensitive as you move into that solar eclipse in Capricorn on Saturday. And that day, being the new moon, I think is really where you want to set your intentions very clearly for 2019. Let me give you a couple things to think about as you write your intentions. The thing to picture is that we are really in an in-between for this first week of January, where first of all, we're going to be in between two eclipses, because there is another powerful eclipse coming January the 20th, which will be a super full moon lunar eclipse in 0 degrees Leo. So we will be moving into lots of fire at that point. And we're also in between those two 7-year itchy cycles of Uranus. So an in-between time, we can feel discouraged, even feel some despair and hopelessness, because we can't necessarily see our way through it. We don't, right this week, have a clear view of the road ahead. It's as if we have chalk in our hands, and we've been working on this big chalkboard, big black chalkboard, trying to solve the world's problems, trying to solve our own problems. And we've been doing that the whole lifetime, right? And we've been giving it great effort until the board is white with chalk dust and the eraser's full, and we just see the futility of trying to solve our problems with old formulas. So we will stop, at least you and I, we will stop long enough to step back, to go get a wet sponge and clean the board. And as we do, we're going to find that it's not a blank slate, not by any means, because written there, and it has been indelible words hidden beneath all that dust, and we're now going to see them. So just imagine, as you write your intentions for this new year, that what you have before you is that very chalky chalkboard, dusty, the one you've been using your whole life. It's worn and gray from time and time again, writing and erasing and trying to find solutions to problems. So you too put down that eraser and step back. Clean it off and honor, first of all, really the fatigue, this battle fatigue, really. You honor that you're tired, because we do need to rest. This is, after all, the time of hibernation, naturally. But also, I want you to honor and invoke your willingness to see. Not just your willingness to see what's really there, but your willingness to see it differently. that opens so many doors. Imagine there is a message there that has been waiting for you all along, waiting for today, and that message reminds you not only of your mission, but of your way home. So there will be sacred words written there about peace and love, and now you see them plainly. And on our road ahead, we're meeting up with Venus, the goddess of love. First of all, 2019 in the numerology of Tarot is number 3, the Empress. That is Venus, and that is also the desire for relationship. So we have a road ahead that really you want to walk it 2 by 2. So take the hand of someone close to you and ask if you can both believe in the same spiritual goal, because that's what really unites us. So Venus on January 7th will move into fiery Sagittarius, and Mars has been in fiery Aries since New Year's Eve. And by January the 18th, they will be joining in this beautiful, beautiful harmony. So we have the loving balance there of an open heart and open to each other for relationship. You know, since ancient times, the stars have been a geographic guide. And we have been like lost travelers, needing help from on high to find our way home. And what we're doing now is we are choosing to move from separation to unity. And each one of us in our own unique way is dismantling those walls that we have built, that we thought were protecting us, but actually were preventing us from seeing the true meaning of love, the thing we both want the most and have in the past feared the most. And as we free ourselves from these self-made prisons, we get to walk out into the light that absolutely dissolves the ego. It dissolves all the rubble that we have left behind. And we are going to join together and cross that bridge together, leaving ego behind and moving towards unconditional love of spirit. So I wish you much happiness as you start this new year. And I can't wait to get back with you next week. We have so many wonderful things. Thanks for listening. And if you want to get your own reading or a gift certificate, just email me, Judith@judithroyal.com. Bye for now.